Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you with me today. It's a little afternoon here on a Wednesday afternoon, just a little after lunch. I am waiting on a package from UPS to show up so I can start working on that silvertone. Anyway, I just thought I'd make a little quick video of a little walk around of my shop and what it looks like and all this, what I call the TV shop. So let me take you on a little tour. Well, this ain't the TV shop. This is my little makeshift patio. There's my Blackstone, my Weber gas grill, my Weber charcoal grill, my little table, blah blah blah. There's my little DX77 antenna right there, and there's all my ham radio stuff there. What is that? A Mosley TH3. There's a 4-element 6-meter. A 9-element 2-meter antenna beam up there. Another that other antenna on the top there's a 2-meter 70-centimeter antenna. Over here on the left down there's a what do you call those things, little what we call a disc cone. Then my little 40-80 meter wire antenna. Anyway, that's it right there. My measly little backyard there. There's my work building right there with a bent VHF antenna. This is the TV shop right here. All my lines from the tower here go down underground to that box right there. And there's a little DB 224 right there. Used for my test antenna. But try not to shake the camera too bad. I don't want y'all to get seasick. Anyway, here's the TV shop. Let's just walk in. Turn the light on. So here it is. This is my TV shop, and we'll start and just go clockwise. Let me back up a little bit. There's my computer bench and everything, and my ham radio bench there. There's a 2,000 foot Griswold, I think it's Griswold, 35mm film reel. There's my little whatnot shelf up there. Let's see, there's my RCA clock, which I'm very proud of. Printer, a few televisions. There's the case to the True Tone. There's that Tandy 1000X computer. There's the little record player we worked on. There's a Ike SSL 16mm projector, an RCA 400 16mm projector, various other things. There's all my networking stuff right there. Bunch of parts on here. I've got all kinds of parts. A lot of it's old TV parts and electronics. And no, I don't have just tons of capacitors. I usually order them. One day I'm going to find a sale on them, get an assortment. I just hadn't done that yet. Anyway, I got various things here. You'll see there. Various things. No need telling you everything about it. And I've gotten a bunch of other parts. I haven't actually labeled anything yet because I'm lazy. But I'm very proud to have these Onite boxes right here. Went in and made my own labels. It took me a little trial and error, but I made new labels for everyone but these. I hadn't done these yet. But various things, capacitors, disc capacitors of different kinds right here. Heat shrink, wire lugs, terminal lug connectors and stuff like that. Various things. Yet more parts. There's my air conditioning system right there. There's old girl right there, my spectrum analyzer, my 8568B. The last time I turned it on, it told me I had a battery error, which means I've got to go into the display, the CPU board of this thing, change that battery out. Anyway, backing up a little bit. More parts. A lot of that stuff right there, all this stuff right here, is all semiconductors. This is stuff that I came from an old TV shop in town, and it's taken me several years, but I finally got around to sorting all this stuff. So all that is sorted and put in a database. So if I need a certain part, I'll look on here and I'll find it. Here's more uncatalogued semiconductors and stuff. Here's yet more ECG components. Various things. I've got some tubes down here, speakers, fuses, assortments, all kinds, relays, various other things in there. And this is something that I'm kind of proud of right here. This is the old school TV mirror. If you're working on a big television or something like that, you can sit that in front of it and do your thing. Of course, I don't know why this is upside down. Okay, so got that for a little more than I wanted to pay for it, but this is the one I was looking for. And going back up to the top shelf, there is my postal scales, my little transistor tester that's got the bad meter, another transistor tester. This has got my what is that thing called? SDR receiver. It's the $200 one. Motorola test set, my AM FM modulation meter. This here is my Compactron adapter, the CA4 for my Hickok 600. I saw that come up on eBay and I snatched it. Here is the Syncor Handy 75 that we rebuilt a year or two ago. Various other things, soldering iron, CRT tester, another transistor tester here, grid dip meter, various other things here, RF test cables, various other things, radio hookup wire. Here's a speaker out of that Revere that I looked at the other day, wire ties, various other stuff, project boxes, and various other stuff. There's that Hewlett-Packard Nixie tube voltmeter that I've got to get back on as soon as my friend gives me the parts to fix it. What is that? That's my little Kenwood oscilloscope right there, dual trace oscilloscope, and Ritsu Sightmaster right there, and then this Syncor SC61 oscilloscope that's got the the voltmeter and all the frequency counter and period counter, all that stuff built into it. That's a pretty cool rig. Here's my Hickok 600A. Then here's my Mighty Mite, the TC162. There is right there is that that Atwater Kent that I rebuilt probably 2 years ago now. I ain't never worked on the cabinet. Then there's the other Atwater Kent that I got. It needs a complete overhaul. It's old realistic scanner. I don't even remember, a Pro 2001. This thing has got, I bought that more than I wanted to pay for it, but I had another one that when I was young I tried to repair it and never could get it working, and I finally nailed it to a tree and shot it with a rifle. This one here's got similar issues, so this one here is to get it working so I could I don't know, feel good about myself actually conquering this thing. Anyway, all my chemicals is up there, all my test leads and all that kind of mess is right there. Switch back over, here's all my manuals and reference material and so on and so forth. That's where all my tools are kept. Here's my little meager film collection. Let's see, get over to the work test bench here. Let me back up. That is a picture of my test bench. I got various things on here. A little battery operated Radio Shack speaker, amplified speaker right there. Comes in very handy for things. B&K 1820 universal frequency counter, oldie but a goodie. And then this WaveTech right here, model 148A. This is one strange critter here. It's actually a military version, which I think is called an SG 1171/U. So got that. Then here's my Hewlett-Packard 654A test generator. That's a pretty, that's kind of a pretty cool thing, I guess. Of course, the old classic Heathkit C3 capacitor tower condenser tester. Then I've got this Heath 1274 sweep function generator. And then below it, I've got a Heathkit IP2718 dual power supply, triple power supply. Excuse me. Alright, sorry about that. I had an important phone call. Anyway, my 35 amp Astron power supply, 12 volt, 13.8. Going back up here again, got a Syncor VA62A universal video analyzer. It's got the tuner substitution in there, the multi-burst, you know, the color bar generator, crosshatch, and all that stuff. It's a really decent little dude there. Then I got my Hewlett-Packard 8657A signal generators, 0.1 to 1040 megahertz generator. That's an awesome piece of equipment. Then down to one of my favorite pieces of test equipment, the Syncor LC103 Resolver 2 capacitor inductor analyzer. Very cool piece of equipment. Then I've got a Motorola code synthesizer that I can generate two-tone paging, 5/6 MTS mobile telephone service, improved mobile telephone service. This is old school, and then digital paging, which is clock sag and GoLay and all that stuff, and plus flex. I got that there just for fun. Then down here I got my wattmeter panel. It's a Bird wattmeter built in, and then I can switch it over to this guy here for my HF stuff. Works pretty good. So that's how that works. Got my little curve tracer that come out of a kit. Still ain't figured out how it works, but it's there. Then I got another HP, a piece of HP equipment, a 6284A DC power supply. Had this thing forever. Still works. That's good. Going back up here again, there's the Heathkit HM102 HF power meter. And my another favorite of mine is this WV120 AC RMS voltage power line monitor. And what you used to use these for, you would have one of these in your service vehicle, and when you went to somebody's house and they would complain that their tuner or something was weak, you would monitor their AC line voltage. Just plug this in and you could see what their line voltage was. Because actually some of these old TV sets and all these places would be at the end of a very long power line, and a lot of times the voltage would be down to about 107 or 108. So if you had any weak tubes in your tuner or whatever, this would tell them. And a lot of times, if you where you saw it, you would have a variac in your truck, and you could take that variac and plug into the set and turn the voltage up to 120. And you could, and if the set come back to life, that told you had a weak tube in your front end of your TV or whatever. Anyway, moving on. Textronics 2246 100 megahertz 4-trace semi-smart oscilloscope. It's got two normal, channel 1 and channel 2 is pretty much normal. The channel 3 and 4 is kind of limited to less than 400 volts peak to peak. Really a pretty cool little rig. So let's drop down. Another piece of famous test equipment is my Syncor model PR57 variable isolation transformer and safety analyzer. 0 to 3 amps continuous, 3 to 4 amps intermittent. Pretty cool little rig. And back here is my dim bulb tester right here. It's hard to see, but I can see them when I'm working on something. So I just plug right here, plugs into this. This plug right here plugs into this guy right here, goes in here. Then I have a low, which is a 100-watt light, and this one here is 100, I forgot what it was, 150 watt, I believe. So then this right here is my speakers, test speakers right here. I can just plug into my test speakers right there. All right, let's move on. I'm getting carried away here. My ICO signal tracer, model 147A. I like this one because it's got an output transformer that you can substitute if you're working on something. You can monitor it from ground to VTVM or scope, whatever. You can monitor the output right there. You can take and measure the RF or the audio input. You can select between RF, audio, or noise. Here's your gain control, and this is your function switch output selector, which is ACI, trace, test amplifier, amplify speaker, and a watt meter. It even measures watts. I had never used that function, but anyway. And then this one here has got one. This one here is on loan from my office. I don't hardly ever use it at the office. I'm trying to decide if I want to buy it from my boss. But it's another Syncor AM stereo, FM stereo analyzer. It's SG80, I believe. Pretty cool little dude there. It does all kinds of goodies. You can it'll generate RF, IF, multiplex, sweep, RF, IF, AM. Then your RF, IF frequency range. Then RF, IF multiplexer, RF, IF tuning, pilot modulation, audio modulation, different kinds of audio, and then all your various other things. That's a really cool piece of test equipment. And of course my my B&K Precision 177 VTVM Dynascan, and then the old trusted old 8010M flute digital voltmeter right here. Oop, got to keep these things on high voltage volts, 2000. You don't want to plug that in mistakenly. Then there's my solder shelf right there, and various holders, various things, kind of a junk shelf. Here's my trusted little Micronta 22-204 Voltone milliamp meter. Another favorite of mine. Another favorite of mine here is a model 630-PL triplet Voltone milliamp meter. One of my favorites. I love these meters. And of course my venerable Heiko 40 FX951 soldering station. Love that. Got various pro tips for it. I'm going to have some more. All my diddle sticks, markers, little tools, and all that kind of mess. Soldering, desoldering kit right there. Let's see. Let's go back up. My Motorola R2200 service monitor. Works pretty good. I still have a problem on AM, but it does a really good job. I hardly ever use AM, so I don't really worry about this right now. But I've been wanting a service monitor. I wound up with 3. Go figure. Yeah, again, another Hewlett-Packard piece of test equipment. Here this time was a 5383A 520 megahertz frequency counter. Very good, solid piece of test equipment. I hope to find another higher frequency counter one day that I can put in here. Not that this is old, but it is old, and I want to get something with a little more functionality. And let's see, let's finish this shelf off. Here is my model 400D, 400 Delta AC voltmeter, and that's a very cool voltmeter. I believe I have a video on here somewhere where I restored this dude. Works very well. And then here's my old buddy right here, the 606A, Hewlett-Packard 606A. This thing's a tank. However, we found an AM mod problem with it, and I have not addressed it yet. This thing is heavy, and to get to the cage that I need to get to is about 5,000 screws, and I'm just not ready for that. And then there's the RCA Victor AM tabletop radio that restored, but I had to unplug it because the clock motor was still bad, still noisy, and it was super loud and annoying, so I just unplugged it. I'll work on it some other day. Then my little, what is this, a 17-inch, I think, little Zenith black and white TV. It works. It's got some kind of issue with the sweep where the sides are drawn in, and I'm thinking that yoke has got one of those metal bands that goes inside it, and that looks like that's missing. I've had some people tell me that's what it is. I don't know. I'm going to revisit that one day. I'm trying to find another yoke for it because the yoke it was on it was damaged. So trying to find another yoke for this one. I get that. I may make a video on this one day. Anyway, moving along. I got to move over here, man. This here is audio is RF jacks. One of these is where I get my DTV direct right here, and then I get coming out of the detector or the demodulator right here, and that's what this shelf is right here. I've got a digital TV converter right here that I have an off-air signal in my house that comes over to this guy, and then that changes it over to channel 3. Or in other words, I'm sending video and audio to this guy right here, and then this guy demodulates it and turns it into channel 3 and 4 and sends it up to the TV, and another one comes out here. So that's what that does. Then I've got my little RCA WR508B mini crowbar generator. Very cool little rig. My little Micronta battery tester. Works fine, very handy. And here is my, believe it or not, this right here, I saw Shane go 066, I believe. He had something like this, and he would put this on the horizontal output tube to measure how much current the tube was drawing. I never did that before in my old TV days, but it makes sense. Just like I do when I work on broadcast transmitters, I need to know what the plate current is, so I can take that and the plate voltage and figure out what its power input is, and that's kind of what he's doing with that. It makes perfect sense. Over here is my breadboards and some miscellaneous parts, and I don't even know what that is back there. Let's see. My little WT540A AC leakage tester. I need to get some new leads for it. These leads are dried out bad. Oh yeah, and then I've got a wide range oscillator. It's another Hewlett Packard 200 CD. I restored it too, works fine. And finally we get over to yet another Syncor universal power supply and charger, model UPS 164. This thing will do 30/15, high current, low current. You can make it do different things here. I hardly ever use this thing. Variable 2 amp high filtered regulated power supply, 2 amp. You can go 6 to 20 amp regulated power supply and charger. Then you can go 12 volt 10 amp regulated supply and charger. And then here's your outputs right here. I hardly ever use this thing. Now let's see, and then what have I got? I got Married My Son, one of my favorite movies right there. That's a calendar for drive-in theater. Of course, that's not, we had these like this at the Parkway Drive-In in Winfield, but I can't find one. So, but I found these online years ago. It's Prairie, but they were the exact same thing other than it was Parkway Drive-In up here. And I got that because I'm just sentimental. So one day I'll find one. Here's my telephone that I'm going to get working one day. I just got to get the right stuff. So anyway, I got a bunch of other things down here. There's my old office chair right there. You'll hear it moving around when I work on stuff. It's a bunch of spare radios, ham radio junk, all kinds of junk in there. All them little pocket transistor radios, all them are in there because I decided I'm not going to collect them anymore. Then I got more radios and junk in there. Bunch of tubes, all that's all right there is tubes. Various RF stuff, more storage. I got a lot of media down there. And there's another R2200, that's a parts chassis. Then I got some monitor that I use for every now and then. Then here is my roll around TV cart that I work on. I used to work on stuff with sometimes. For a long time there, I've had it being serving as a shelf. That kind of aggravated me, so I cleaned it all off finally. Now I can work on stuff on that and not tie up my workbench. So that's about it. I may have done this before, I hope not, but I'm just kind of killing time until my parts show up. So anyway, that's the tour, and I hope y'all enjoy, and I guess I will talk to y'all. The next video out should be me working on that silvertone. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I didn't shake the camera too much because I don't want people to get sick. But I'll tell you what though, I probably give you an address of a bunch of CVS's that's got Dramamine. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a great, blessed day. Bye-bye.